After 20 years in the NBA, Kobe Bryant showed his love for poetry and his family, winning an Academy Award for Dear Basketball, and was often seen on TV with his daughter Gianna. The 13-year-old Mambasito was ready for the brightest lights under the Mamba Academy, coached by his dad and bound for WNBA greatness. Now, as we look up to them in the skies, we honor their relationship through our love for family and our love for both men's and women's basketball. Joining us today are our media icons, Boom Gonzales, Nikko Ramos, and DJ Slick Rick, Eric Verata. I'm in awe also of your presence, being here on the show. It's my mentors, my idols as well. Thank you so much.
Our idols.
No, right here.
But
Denise, good to see you again. Good to see you.
Thanks for having
my
me.
first
Thank you.
question, how's everyone feeling right now after what happened last Monday?
Well, I think we're in agreement to say that we're all in shock still, in disbelief. You know, especially the waking up part. The waking up part is like you always kind of want to feel that it's really like fake news, especially the first 2 days. But yeah, now you know, it sunk in obviously, and with everything coming out with the news reports about the chopper crash, and then Vanessa now coming out with a statement, it gets more real
Each day.
as it goes on. So yeah, but I did say it a couple of days ago. It gets tougher before it gets better. So I think that's how I feel at the very least.
DJ Slick,
Yeah,
have you finally moved on, or is it still?
It's still fresh because when everything happened, because like me and Boom were really close. We're in the chat room, and it's something where when I first read it, I thought it was like it would lead into some kind of news bit or something. Don't believe anything that you read on the internet. But then when everything started coming out, it's like it was real. And like Monday was
tough.
Yeah, Monday was tough. We were all just floating in.
Yeah.
I mean, Tuesday it was. I mean, now it's Thursday. It's. I mean, like what Boom was saying, it's sunk in that he's passed. So it's tough.
Nikko hasn't stopped sharing tweets on Twitter.
I think,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I think people are in. I think people are in mourning. I think people are fully embracing that they're mourning. I think it's a strange phenomenon to mourn a person that you don't really know. You know, for so many of us, there's some of us who've been lucky to have a few conversations with him. Most people in the world who are going through this right now only watched him play, maybe through television. But you know, you hear it all the time. It feels like you lost a relative. It feels like you lost a family member, and I think that's a new feeling to go through, and I think it's new territory that not a lot of people, myself included, these guys included, don't really know how to navigate yet.
Yeah, you mentioned it a while ago that it is quite a phenomenon to mourn so greatly for someone a lot of people didn't really personally know. But what is it about Kobe and his effect that it transcends through generations, gender, and even going beyond sports? Because it's not only sports fans that ended up mourning about Kobe's death and his daughter, but even not sports fans.
Oh, for sure.
Like, suddenly everyone was just talking about it. So what is it about him that makes it so?
I mean, because like for Boom and Nikko, I mean, they've had interactions with Kobe as opposed to myself. I mean, I'm a fan. See him coming up and being a Laker fan, and then all of a sudden him, after he retired, you see how much of a dad he was, and me being a father. I mean, it's kind of wild to think of those last few moments of his life along with the others in the helicopter. And it's heavy, is because that as a father you do anything to make sure that nothing's gonna happen to your kids, and I mean it's just because he's lived his life to the fullest, and everyone saw his heart out on the floor, and then they saw his heart taking pictures of his daughter with, say, Kevin Hart, or, with Luca. And, that would probably just be me, is because I want my kid to feel that, I'm not important, it's you. And being a father, I mean, it's difficult. It's tough. I think that's where it's hard for me, is because he's a great basketball player, even better father.
You don't have to be a fan, you
Yeah.
know, to feel the impact, feel the effect. You know, not everybody claims to be, you know, hardcore fan. Like, let's say Nikko, who's, you know, that's his guy. But you don't have to be a fan or you don't even have to be in sports, right, to understand it. Because the guy grew up pretty much in the limelight. We saw his journey, his 3 acts, if you may. He's probably we saw him more of his that basketball career in the NBA. That's more than what we didn't see. You know what I mean? You saw it at different stages, so it humanizes him, especially that last part of his career where he was already hugging opponents. He wasn't scowling at them anymore. You know, there was a relationship already with some of those on-court enemies and other people off the court. And then the father part, there's no question. Me and Nikko are not fathers, and we hope to be one someday. But as sons, we understand that. You know, we don't have to be a father. As sons, we understand that. So, again, you don't have to have contact. You don't have to be a hardcore fan. He's as relatable as they come. He's as charming as they come. He's as people savvy as they come. And the older he got, the more we got to know him, the more vulnerable he got. So the more relatable he became to everybody, whether you're a fan or not.
You know, I think that the true greatness of Kobe is in his imperfections, and how he was able to try his best to recover and be better. I think that what may be lost in all this is that, look, there is no attempt to paint this man as a perfect person. Were there things that, you know, I'm sure regretted for sure? You know, he's gone on record to say that. There were terrible mistakes that were done by him. There were failures that he went through as an athlete and as a person, but that's where, you know, what Boom's saying, his relatability is that
Correct.
Every struggle he went through, he came out of it trying to be a better person. And I think that that's what so many people, so many ages, as you said, cuts across every kind of person all around the world. I think that's what, whether consciously or unconsciously, we relate to and we gravitate towards, because he was nuanced, he was layered, like so many of us, like all of us. And all we're trying to do is just come back from it, learn, be better. Come back from it, learn, be better. Put aside our pride, put aside our scowling and our desire to win championships and defeat everyone and annihilate everyone, and eventually value friendship, family, fatherhood.
And the game in general.
Yeah, and, you know, leaving something behind. And I think that's truly what makes him such a great loss in this world, is because there's not a lot of people who are out there who are able to do that, and to do it well. And in the moments that they don't do well, come back and try harder the next time. And I think that's a big void that's going to be hard to fill.
No, sadly, before we wrap this up, sports is one of the greatest metaphors in life. And it still feels surreal to be able to say this, but to do a before and after, what did Kobe's life represent? And now, what does his death symbolize?
To us personally?
To you personally?
Well, I said it publicly the Monday that, to me, it was a lesson of seizing the opportunity. That was the lesson that I learned from the first time I hosted. My professional career kind of made a major turn after that first time I hosted for him. So indirectly, you know, the effect on me was big. But the lesson was, and the funny thing that tour was about seizing the opportunity, and he exemplified that. High school to college when it was unfashionable. High school to the NBA. Air balls, he'll shoot again. I'll keep shooting. And then he became one of the most clutch ever. Changing numbers, you know, all of these things that he did, because, you know, as they say in basketball, they shoot your shot, he's going to do it. And he's going to learn from it, and it's going to make him better. And we can all take from that, you know, about seizing the opportunity, about understanding that nothing is guaranteed. Tomorrow's not even guaranteed. So we got to make the most out of what we have, what we can do, and do it better. And appreciating everybody around you. You know, whether it's in your past, your present, or maybe people that you're going to be dealing with in the future. And that for me, you know, is the biggest lesson that I can take. You mourn, you appreciate, and then you celebrate him and his family and everybody else who went down in that tragic chopper crash.
And I'm so sorry to be able to cut this short. Again, we can go on forever talking about Kobe and his legacy, but thank you so much, Boom, Slick, and Nikko, for your time and sharing about the Kobe stories.
Thank you.
Now, after the break, more Filipino sports icons share their stories and messages to honor Kobe Bryant. The legend lives on as we hear straight from the hearts of the Black Mamba faithfuls when the score returns.